Hey guys, I'm super excited to have y'all here with me. This is my first training besides something that I've done like on my team page. Sorry, my dog's trying to get in my lap. About vision boards. So I've done tons of trainings. I just haven't really done a lot about vision boards, but I had a lot of people ask me this year for advice and tips on how to do one. So I thought, you know what the heck, I'm just going to go ahead and make a video. Would you stop and go lay down? So my name's Lynn Reynolds. I'm sure you guys know that. And for anyone who I know through the reader world, you've heard my sister make fun of me for this whole vision board thing. But y'all, this is something that is so important to me and it's just such a normal thing for me. Like, I started it in 2006. That was the year we got married. And I think that was the same year that The Secret came out. So if you haven't read The Secret, so I have gloves on, y'all. It's freezing in here. And for some reason, my hands are the only thing I can't get to warm up. But anyway, The Secret, it sounds so cheesy, but y'all, seriously, it was life-changing for me. And there's not a whole lot of books that I'll recommend watching the movie over, but this one specifically, I think it's worth watching on Netflix because they give you so many visuals that really help you to understand, the law of attraction, the power of positive thinking, all that stuff that, you may or may not believe in. I would like to think that you do, or you wouldn't be watching this video, right? If you think that all this is BS, then peace out, because you're not going to convince me otherwise. I mean, if it's good enough for Oprah, right? Oprah, Bill Gates, Tiger Woods, Elon Musk, the Tesla guy, they all do vision boards. They do visualization. And even Tiger Woods, talks about, well, a lot of professional athletes talk about visualizing a play before they make it. And so this is, kind of in the same line. If you're not someone who does daily visualization, it definitely can help you kind of get in the habit of that. So a couple of tips, and also, whether you call it vision board, dream board, goal board, action board, totally up to you. Doesn't have to be a board. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. But the number one most important rule is that you have to put it somewhere you're going to look at it every day. Y'all, it doesn't do you any good to make a vision board and then never look at it, because that defeats the purpose, right? I mean, it's something we're supposed to visualize. I'm not going to call out any names, but someone, I usually do now, like every year, the first week of January, I'll do it with at least one other person, but sometimes, 4 or 5 of us will get in a group and do it. And last year, one of the people that did it with me, I still have it. She never took it home. So thinking about getting that out and looking at it and seeing how much stuff came true on it. But anyway, I made a few notes. So you'll see me kind of looking down, and then I printed off some pictures of some past vision boards. But for me, I would say easily 90 to 95% of what I put on my vision board comes true every year, because I take it very seriously. And, we'll get more into this in a little bit, but if you write yourself a check for $1 million and put that on your vision board and think now, because you put it on your vision board, you're all of a sudden going to manifest $1 million, then you don't really understand the process of it. So hopefully we'll kind of clear that up a little bit today. There's been so much scientific research in the last 10 years about vision boards and how they really, really work. Maybe not a lot of concrete evidence, but definitely a lot of objective evidence. Your thoughts, I'm a huge believer that your thoughts create your action, right? if you know someone who's generally a happy, positive person, chances are that person is not sitting around feeling sorry for themselves and going over and over in their head a million times a day about all the shit that's wrong in their life and all the things that have gone wrong and all the people that are doing them wrong and how nothing ever seems to go their way. You know, what is that quote? Was it by Henry Ford? Oh, now I wish I had printed that because now I can't remember. Whatever you think will happen, or something like that. Anyway, it's not a new concept. It's been around a really long time. But if you know someone who's a positive person and generally happy, chances are they're focusing on the positive and the good things that are happening in their life. And sometimes that takes a conscious, intentional, daily effort to kind of retrain your brain to not automatically go into a negative place. And that can be done. You know, it's all about retraining neural pathways. You know, I'm a background in occupational therapy by trade. I know all about, retraining neural pathways. I do believe there you have the scientific evidence to support that it does work. You know, gratitude, your thoughts, journaling, all of those things work to help make us happier people and to help us be more positive. And so when you have something that you're putting onto, a goal board, a vision board, dream board, and you're taking the steps every day to manifest those dreams, the chances of it happening are a lot greater than if you just have all these hopes, dreams, and aspirations floating around in your head with no really objective, concrete way that you're going to get there, no measurable way that you're going to, reach that milestone or what you consider that success to be. So, another thing, one of the big recent goals that I had, I'll show y'all my 2019 board in a minute. I just took it down. But for 2018, I had a goal of getting out of debt. And that was daunting for me because I'm terrible with money and kind of, went crazy with I won't even go into the details, but in order for that to happen, I had, my husband and I had separate finances. We had a joint account that we both put money into, and then we had our own accounts. And it was my own account that I kind of got myself into trouble with. And, I can put on my vision board that I want to get out of debt, but I have to also be realistic about the steps it's going to take to get there. And for me, that very, very uncomfortable, messy truth was that I had to come clean to my husband about the bind I had gotten myself in. And so it took me a couple of months. I didn't do it, right after I made my vision board, but I finally did sit down and have that conversation. And he helped me, because he's good with money, he helped me come up with a goal and the steps that needed to be taken for me to be able to get out of debt. And so sometimes, making this vision board and creating these goals requires some messy, real self-talk in the steps that you're going to take to achieve those dreams and goals and aspirations and actions, or whatever you want to call them. So I would say that would probably be my recommendation for step one. Write down what goals, like what you want your end goal to be. What do you want to accomplish by the end of December 2020? And, don't be vague about it. Like, I want to be happy. I mean, that's a good goal. We all want to be happy, right? What's it going to take for you to be happy? Is it going to take you, for me, something recently that I have made some changes with is my health and my fitness, because I'm in a lot of pain, 9 herniated discs, a lot of health problems. I'm in a lot of pain, and I can't just wish that pain away. I had to do something about it. And so I did a few months ago, and it's been great. A lot of pain in the process of that growth, but growth is pain, right? If you want a different job, Don't just say, I want a different job. Be clear and concise about the job that you want. And then focus on what are the steps that you need to take to get that job. You don't just want to wait until that position at your company or a position at a new company. It's not going to land in your lap, right? So you have to think of the things that you need to do to get that new job. Do you need to start getting involved in the chamber and being around like-minded people, or some sort of leadership group, or Toastmasters, or do you need to start searching the internet for that dream job? Kind of get a little bit more specific about the steps that you need to take to reach that goal, if that makes sense. And so that kind of falls under the intention category. We have to be intentional with our goals. I think a lot of people who make fun of vision boards and things like that, they think, there's a lot of people who think, oh yeah, I want to win $1 million, or I want to have this big, great mansion overlooking the beach. But there's no intention and no actionable steps of what it's going to take to get you there. And so you have to be realistic with it. And if it's something that maybe is like a 5-year goal, then break that down. Where do you want to be in the next year that's going to get you 20% closer to that 5-year goal? Vision boards actually help us be more creative, in today's world. I wish I had looked at what time I started talking. I think I only get 40 minutes on this thing. Anyway, we spend so much time on autopilot, doing things that are so repetitive and like second nature to us. Scrolling social media is second nature to us. Finding something to watch on Netflix is second nature to us. There's just so many tasks that we've all filled our days with technology that don't require a lot of thought, And so creating a vision board will help you to get those creative juices flowing, and that will help. It stimulates the mind. It helps you come up with more vision and more dreams, more creativity. I wrote down a quote here from Albert Einstein. Everybody's heard of him. Logic will get you from A to B, but imagination will take you everywhere. Anything that has ever happened, ever been created, this computer that you're on, this phone that you're on, it started with an idea, right? Someone's vision. But they didn't just sit there with that idea or that vision in their head. They were intentional about how they were going to manifest the idea, the vision, the dream, the goal. They were intentional about the things and that they needed to do, the steps that they needed to take to help this become concrete, to help it become a reality. So one of the other things I really like about vision boards, and I'll show you this, I have it on a couple of my pictures, but for me, one of the mistakes that I used to make is I want to lose 30 pounds this year. That's what I would do in January. And then by December, I'm the same weight. So something I started doing a couple years ago that was really helpful for me is breaking everything down into smaller goals. Because, looking at your vision board every day in January, every day in February, it still seems like you're so far away, right, from that 30 pounds or 20 pounds or 50 pounds or whatever it is. But if you break it down and say, I need to lose a half a pound a week, or 2.5 pounds a month, something like that, and you have a section where you actually write out, January, February, March, April, all the months, you figure out what your starting weight is, and then you just go down by 2 pounds in January. And then once you hit that 2 pound mark, you can check that off, right? Or cross through it. And so now what you're doing is you're showing your brain and your subconscious that you've already accomplished something on that vision board and that it's working. And so that's going to motivate you to want to continue looking at that vision board every day and having those small successes. It doesn't just have to be weight loss. It could be for me, also something I did last year that was actually the first time. Well, I've been with my company over 6.5 years now, about 6.5 years. And last year I broke down how many customer orders and new customers I needed to get in January, in February, in March, in April, because I wanted to achieve this milestone. It's kind of like our rewards program. It's called Milestone 5. I wanted to achieve that, but instead of just putting Milestone 5 achiever like I always had, I broke it down in months. And so that became smaller, more attainable goals for me to achieve. And so instead of achieving that goal by the end of 2019, I achieved it by the end of April, because I saw that in January, oh, this is all I need to do to get that goal. And so I did it and then some. And so you can make that work with anything. It's almost like you go backwards and figure out, what's 10% of the goal, whatever the goal is. What would 10% of that goal look like? And then make that your goal for January. Does that make sense? So it's smaller, more bite-sized goals. So again, putting the vision board where you can see it every day, breaking it. Come on now. Hey, it's just your daddy. Stop it. Breaking down those goals so that they're not so broad and seemingly unattainable or seemingly so far away. You want to break all those goals down into smaller goals so that you feel successes faster, whether for you that's marking it out like on a checklist or a to-do list, or putting a check mark by it, or putting a star by it, or however you want to do that, however that looks for you. But another reason it's so important for us to have this board where we can see it every day, y'all, life happens, right? It doesn't matter how excited we are about something today. There are going to be many, many times throughout this next year that we're not excited about it, because we have just had crap upon crap upon crap thrown at us. The bad days, the family drama, the sicknesses, maybe layoffs, the car breaking, whatever, the stress eating, which caused us to gain an extra 5 or 10 pounds. All that's just going to pile up. And as that stuff piles on us, our vision and our dreams and our goals and our why we made this something we put on our vision board in the first place, that's all going to get pushed down and stifled, and it's going to get further and further away from seeming like it can be a reality. And so it's really important that we remind ourselves every single day what we're working for. What is our purpose? Why are we getting up every day? What makes us get out of bed every day? What makes us keep going? And so you want to have that reminder on the bad days or the bad weeks of what those goals are. And then you also want to be able to see the small, tiny goals that you've already started chipping away at. And so it doesn't look like something that you're just going to feel like you failed again. So many people, I don't know the statistic on this, but so many people, we all have these New Year's resolutions, and then most people fail. Excuse me. I got the hiccups. Most people fail, and it's frustrating, and it just makes you feel further and further away from that New Year's resolution being a possibility. Kind of think of like New Year's resolutions the same as your vision board, So according to Forbes magazine, we've all heard of Forbes. I wrote this statistic down, so I have to glance at it real fast. So of people who create vision boards are more than 2 times as confident about the ability to achieve their goals and to succeed. And, confidence, us believing in ourselves, nothing's really going to happen unless we believe in ourselves first, right? And so people who make vision boards are more than 2 times more likely to achieve those goals because of believing that they're going to achieve those goals. And then of 500 small businesses who were surveyed who did vision boards, all 500 businesses did vision boards. 82% of them stated that the goals that they put down for their business came true. And that's another thing, you know, some people ask, can I do different vision boards, or do I do everything on one vision board? Again, y'all, there's no wrong way to do this. You can do one for your office, you can do one for your relationship, you can do one with your kids, you can do one for your personal goals, or you can just, one year I broke my vision board up into 4 quadrants, or maybe 5 quadrants, and I did business, I can't even read it backwards, but anyway, and then I wrote down other things here. I did my yoga teacher training that year, went on a nice 10-year anniversary vacation. My office, when I was teaching in college, I actually turned one of my walls in my office, and I did this like the 3 years I was there, turned it into a chalkboard wall. I'm sure a lot of you know how to do that. Hello, Pinterest. It's like mixing sanded grout or something in with the paint. So it was the same color. The wall was the same color as the rest of my walls, but that particular wall became a chalkboard wall. And so I would put my goals at the beginning of the fiscal year in August, what my professional goals were for that semester, and then I would do it again for January, and then I would do it again for the summer term. And that was really cool. And a lot of the students that came into my office really enjoyed seeing how those changed every year or every semester. And so you can do different ones. You can do the professional one, or, sorry, I'm putting my gloves back on, y'all. My hands are freezing. Okay. So again, you want to get real with your goal. First step is creating your actual goals, whether that's 1 goal or 10 goals or whatever, 50 goals, whatever, however many things you want to accomplish this year, and then kind of backwards chaining it and breaking down, you know, smaller bite-size, attainable, more quickly attainable goals. So let's see. I think I already said all these things. Okay, so now we're going to get to like what do you use to create your vision board? And so I had someone message me today and said they have nothing, like they don't have anything. They don't have ink in their printer. They don't have any crafting supplies, because I just use, I mean, hello, do you see the scrap box back there? I just use crafting supplies. But this one is one that my stepdaughter and I did. This was mine. So I used an old canvas, like from Pino's Palette, you know, where you go do the painting and the drinking. And I just painted a layer of paint over it. And then I printed my goals that year. And I just kind of made it like, I don't know, a little sunburst with my ohm in the middle. And then Sarah did hers with a Sharpie. Y'all see all those? And we just both wanted to put something cute in the middle. If you want to take a piece of paper, okay, here's someone on my team. This was one of their vision boards. It's like literally a notebook opened with different colored Sharpies or markers. So you don't have to get fancy with this. You can be as simple or as extravagant as you want. In 2018, I wasn't in the mood to make a big elaborate vision board like I normally do. And so I literally took a piece of cardstock and I told my husband, I said, I want us to each come up with 10 things that we want to focus on for 2018, and let's make some of them about our relationship. So it was very simple. It was a piece of cardstock. I divided it in half. I had 1 through 10 on my side, and he had 1 through 10 on his side. I did all 10 things, like, I want you to be more spontaneous. That was the year I said I wanted to, get out of debt. Just little things like that. And then he only had 5 things on his side, but his was, communication. He wanted us to communicate better. I can't even remember what they all were, but it was very simple. It was just like a piece of cardstock with a line down the middle, and then he had his side, I had my side. And then here's just an example of what my dining room table looks like on Vision Board Day. That's what it's going to look like this Sunday. My mom and my daughter are coming over, and we're doing vision boards. This one, it was a really busy vision board that year. I've kind of learned to simplify it a little bit, because if it's too cluttery, it makes me not be able to focus as well on what's on the actual vision board. And so that's up to you how you want to do that. Like I had some little frames from scrapbooking, some little stickers, and then I would just cut out different colored pieces of paper and just write on it. See? So there's so many different ways you can do this. So this was an old, something I had, like an old, no, I'm not gonna say a painting, but like a canvas, not a canvas. Regardless, the glass was broken out of it. And so I just took the old frame, and then I took glitter cardstock, and I just made different sections with different pieces of cardstock. And then I would print things, like I printed a Lexus. That was the year I earned my Lexus. Oh no, this is 2016. I earned it in 2017. I had 1 month of qualification that year, but we went to Vegas for convention, did my yoga teacher training, all those things. So I just printed things, you know, off of my printer. And that really wasn't a very extravagant year. Here's another year that I went overboard with. I mean, is there such a thing as going overboard with glitter? Honestly, health, but I hadn't really broken down specific goals for my health. Finished the yoga teacher training, wanted to travel, health for my pups. There's some other things that you can't see, had my goal weight. But this was last year's. I actually have the actual board, so it's not just y'all looking at a picture. I just got a pretty piece of cardstock, and then I put, well, it was Lexus, but now they changed to Mercedes, so I was able to trade my Lexus in and get my Mercedes. But anyway, here's where I broke down my business goals and like the miles and everything I needed to get each month. And then I got more every single month and was able to achieve that goal by April instead of, you know, throughout the year. And then here's where I did, like, worked on my weight and broke it down by month, and then did little check marks when I achieved those months. And so I find that really, really works better, because it's important for all of us to feel success. The only way we're going to be able to stay motivated is to feel like we're somewhat succeeding, right? So that's really, 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 really important. I hope that you guys are getting some information from this. I think the main thing is, let me make sure. The main thing is, for me, if I could tell you 2 things that I think are the most important, it's number 1, put it where you're going to see it every day, and we're actually going to spend time looking at it. I used to hang it up by my bathroom mirror. I'm at the bathroom mirror at least twice a day, brushing my teeth, right? Washing my face morning and night. So I stuck it there. I usually keep them in my office, because if I'm home, excuse me, I got the hiccups. I'm so sorry. If I'm home, I'm in my office multiple times a day. And so figure out a place that you can put it. You know, I've even heard of people putting it as the wallpaper on their cell phone, or like the wallpaper on your computer. You know, it doesn't have to be a tangible board or piece of paper. Some people do them digitally. I know that there were several people on my team. We also do this on my team every year. We'll just kind of share with each other on my team page our vision boards for the year, and several people have done those digitally. For me, you know, I'm a person that still likes, I still like to hold and feel and touch my books. I don't like reading on a Kindle, and so the same thing applies for me on vision boards. I want to be able to hold it and feel it and mark, you know, cross those things off and put the check marks when I have those small successes. So that's totally up to you. Again, no wrong way to do that. No wrong way to do it. Sorry, I just got a text about someone's relative passing away. So sad. Gosh, first of the year too. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to say is, when you get ready to do this, it doesn't have to be today. I'm doing mine on the 5th with my mom and my daughter, and I'm excited about that. I've done it in the middle of January. I would definitely recommend trying to find time this month to do it. I always feel like I feel better when I get it done the first week of the month. But it's nice to kind of make it a tradition with your kids or your friends. I'm actually doing 2 this year. I'm doing the one with my mom and my daughter Sunday, and then my friend asked me if we could do one with her kids the following Saturday. So I was going to see if my nephew would be interested in that. And so, depending on how old your kids are, it might be fun to get them involved in doing this as well, and maybe help them come up with 1 or 2 goals of the type of student they want to be, or the attitudes that they want to do better at, respect, or saying yes ma'am, no ma'am, or communicating their feelings better, whatever that may be. It would be fun, to start incorporating this with something that you do with your kids. Another thing I wanted to say is, like, if you have favorite quotes or phrases or sayings that just make you happy, or if there's a picture of you that you just have, pure unadulterated bliss in this picture, you're just, it reminds you of a really happy time, or anything, your puppies, whatever, put those on the board too. Anything that's going to invoke happiness and make you want to continue looking at the board every day with your goals on it. So I guess that's probably all I have. You guys are welcome to ask questions. I'm posting this in a couple places on Facebook, so you can ask questions in the comments. You can feel free to message me on Facebook, maybe a day or 2 before I see it. But I just really wanted to stress the importance of making it yours. There's no wrong way to do it. Just make sure it's something that you're going to devote, at least 30 seconds to every day, to look at it and think, am I taking the steps today to make this goal happen? What can I do today or this week or this month to have a little tick mark of progression towards that goal. And I guess I thought of one more thing to say, but I forgot, so must not have been that important. So, all right, well, I hope everybody has an epic 2020. It's gonna be the only time in all of our lives that the year is synchronistic, right? 2020 hasn't happened since 1919, won't happen again until 2121 if you're into numerology or angel numbers or anything like that. It's supposed to be a really, really good year. And if you believe it, right, that's half the battle. So, okay, thank y'all for joining me, and sure hope I can figure out how to get this to upload. All right. Stop.